Hello everyone and welcome to the latest episode of Book Time with Elvis and the latest installment of my week on Booktube, looking at the highlights of Booktube for this week between the 26th of June and the 2nd of July. And we'll start off with quite a regular starting off point, I guess, these days, because they usually come out every Sunday when this look back begins. And it's an offering from, or two offerings actually, from Shawn D. Standfast. The first was his third episode of Desert Island Books. It was a wonderful episode with Jason Harrigan, so it's well worth checking that out. I'm sure many of you know Jason. And then by happy accident, Shawn actually accidentally released episode 4 yesterday, and that is with Greg from Another Bibliophile Reads. Also a very interesting and very entertaining episode, which I recommend that you check out. So moving on through the week, I came across a new booktuber. I sometimes look through the newbie tags. I can barely keep up with the people I watch at the moment anyway, but still from time to time I do. And I came across Maxine from Maxine's Little Nook, and she did, as I say, a Booktube Newbie Tag, Get to Know My Awkward Self. And she seems a very nice young lady. She's only got 27, as of filming, 27 subscribers. She wants to make new friends on Booktube, so why not check her out? Like always, all the links to all the things I mentioned will be down below. Next, we have Steve Donoghue, and it's a bit of classic Donoghue this time round. It's from a couple of years ago, I think from 2020. It popped up in my feed, I decided to watch it, and it was one of his episodes of Your Daily Penguin, and he looked at the book A Hero for Our Time by Mikhail Lermontov, and he gave a very fascinating overview, if you like, of the book as well as the author's life, and certainly I want to read it now. So you can't go too wrong with Steve, so check it out. I know it's a bit old, some of you may have already seen it, but if you haven't and you're interested in Russian literature or maybe reading an exciting book, then I would say it's well worth your time. So the first of the tag videos this week, we come to Bill Ruttenberg from the Ruttenberg Library. Well, actually the channel I think is Bill Ruttenberg still, so and he did a Get to Know Me in 25 Questions tag. I can't remember, unfortunately, the original creator, Max somebody maybe, and this was great. There's all sorts of different questions, 25 of them to be precise, looking more at getting to know the booktuber rather than being about books. And it was really interesting to see Bill's responses to those questions, and I liked it so much that even though I wasn't tagged in it, I went ahead and made my own version as well, which was kind of fun. I especially like the question or prompt about pet peeves. I love moaning, so it really suited me, and that will come back. We'll come back to that a little bit later. Next, we had a really wonderful offering from Brian at Bookish. He did a video, for the start of Jane Austen July, and it was Jane Austen Where Not to Start, and it did include some spoilers, so he takes us through, if you're a first timer, which Jane Austen books you should not start with, and then proceeds to recommend some good ones for starting. I suppose it's not a particularly mammoth task, seeing as there are only 7 books to choose from, but as I say, it is interesting that he gives you that bit of guidance, because someone like me who's a novice when it comes to Jane Austen, I've only read Northanger Abbey. It was very nice to see that was one of the ones he recommended to start with, but that's the only spoiler you'll get from me regarding that video, so go and check it out. Next we have a vlog this time actually, from Shelly Swearingen, and this is the vlog entitled Picking Dresses for Las Vegas and Choosing Books for Vacation. This was entertaining, as Shelly often is. She treated us to a little fashion show. I was a bit annoyed though with this video, and it was nothing to do with Shelly. It was to do with YouTube, because I commented on it and the comment disappeared. I commented again, the comment disappeared. So poor old Shelly probably got spammed by me, because I refused to give up, and I think I attempted 6 times to comment on that video because I had something rather witty, and unfortunately that escapes me now. But I did choose my favourite of her dresses. Not, of course, that my fashion sense is anything to write home about. I suppose I could be considered more hobo than boho, but that's just the way it is. And she was talking about obviously reading Jane Austen, and how she didn't want to take the book with her necessarily, and she was going to buy an ebook. And I tried to say in my comment, don't waste your money unless you're bothered, of course, by having all the notes and things like that. But it is in English, that the text and the meat of the book is unchanged. So utilize the free resources. Project Gutenberg, for example. Jane Austen's in the public domain, so it doesn't cost you anything to read her, as long as you've got a device you can read her on. I think it's good if people do that, unless, of course, as I say, you want the introduction and the notes, then you will have to pay for it. Next, we have Vin from Revenant Reads, and he did a discussion of the monk, which is part of 18th century Gothic canon, I suppose. And we've been reading, different Gothic books in chronological order, and we finished the monk when was it? In May was our read. Because we did Wieland by Charles Brockton Brown in June, and this month we're doing The Moor by Charlotte Dacre. And so far the monk has been my favourite, including what I'm reading now. It is a very, very interesting, entertaining, and quite horrifying story by Matthew Lewis, and Vin gives an excellent review of it, really, and breakdown of it, and discusses the book. So it's well worth checking out if you're interested in Gothic literature, horror, or just something a bit different. I mean, Vin is a very engaging guy anyway, so it's well worth watching that. So next we have another tag, and it kind of links back to the 25 get to know me questions tag, and the pet peeves that I was talking about. Now, I'd noticed a lot of people on Booktube had been using this word bae, which is a pet peeve of mine. I can't stand it. And MJ, bless her, she released, MJ from Reading This Live, she released a tag called the 2022 Summer Bookbae tag. Tagged a load of people in it, and one of the people she tagged was a chap called Michael Romeo Talks Books. Michael did this tag and very kindly tagged me in it. So of course I found myself having to use this expression on numerous occasions. Funnily enough though, Michael hadn't actually seen my video where I talked about the pet peeves before he tagged me, so it was kind of amusing, and I suppose perhaps a bit of karma that I ended up having to do this. And in my kind self, I went ahead and tagged a few other people in that particular tag who had let it be known that the word bae also annoys them. So you see, I'm a very kind person. But yes, go and check out Michael Romeo Talks Books and his version of the Summer Bookbae tag. And of course, MJ's original is worth watching as well. Next up, we have the Last 10 Books tag for Tag Tuesday by Teacup the Storyteller. Becky, Teacup the Storyteller, is a really nice young lady who is from Slovakia. I believe she lives in Scotland, unless of course she's moved back, because I believe she's a student there. And this was just a very nice, relaxing, as her channel always is. It has a very soothing quality about it, where she talks about the last 10 books, and I would suggest that you head on over there and watch that. Next up, I must pass on my congratulations once again to I suppose in Booktube terms, a fairly old friend of mine, and that's Aaron Facer. He's reached the 300 sub mark, and he released a video, 300 subs, a quick thank you, and a book haul. If you're not subscribed to Aaron, you should go over and subscribe to him, and increase his tally. I'm sure he would be extremely happy, and he's well worth it. Again, a very softly spoken, unassuming young man who is very nice to watch. So I would really recommend that you check him out. And then we come to another, even older friend, I suppose. I've known it longer on Facebook, on Booktube, excuse me. And that's Summer from Cozy Reading with Quaker Cats. She released a reading update where she discussed what she'd read in June, what she plans to read in July. And Summer, unfortunately, is a little bit sporadic on Booktube these days, but she does have a really nice channel, and especially if you love cats, you're almost guaranteed to get a view of some of her multitude of cats that that are running around. So go and check her out. Again, you won't be sorry. Next up, we have another fantastic booktuber and someone I really like, and that's Gina Stanyer from Gina Stanyer's Books. She did her Friday reads, and she did a special Roe versus Wade edition. Again, I know it's a controversial topic, and I mentioned it last week in relation to a video from Greg, another Bibliophile Reads. However, this case, she looks at what she's been reading, and in relation to that, and she pulls out an old, it's from 2002, I believe, magazine featuring, I believe, the primary attorney for Planned Parenthood, which has some connection to Gina. I don't want to spoil it. You should definitely watch her video. But the nice thing about it is that she relates a lot of personal anecdotes, as well as imparting some interesting information through her Friday Reads video. So Gina, again, is a wonderful booktuber, really nice to listen to. She's always guaranteed to cheer you up, so I would recommend checking out that particular video if you haven't done so already. And we come to the last video this week in this catch up of the week, or highlights of the week, and this also comes from Greg and another Bibliophile Reads, and he took a video. There was a video by Fiber Artsy, Why Haven't I Read This Science Fiction Book Yet? And Greg took it, and in the parlance of Booktube, he weaponized it into a tag, the Why Haven't I Read These Books Yet tag. And it's very entertaining. There are about 5 or 6 prompts. I've done it myself, actually, so feel free to check that out if you want, where people discuss why they haven't read particular books that fall into the categories that Greg has laid out. So there we go. Hopefully we'll be lucky, and Shawn D Standfast will release another Desert Island books today. If he has some on backup, that would be great. I did release another short story yesterday. It's not proving super popular, I have to say, but I'm determined to keep going because I love the sound of my own voice, and I'm going to keep reading these short stories, even if there are only 5 people watching it. So there we go. Thanks again for your time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Once again, from Elvis and I, do take care, and we'll see you again very soon. All the best. Bye-bye.